I look absolutely knackered and a bit weird. I'm in my parking spot, you'd be pleased to know. Just go at cinema's over there. Yes, again, I've just realised I've got a smudgy face because the film made me cry a little bit. I've just been to see Dream Horse, which is based on a true story about a little town in the Welsh Valleys, who, led by one very determined woman, ended up in a syndicate with their own racehorse. So it's based on a true story, as I say, and these people have quite repetitive, quite mundane lives. It's an area where I guess they've lost their industry. I don't pretend to know a huge amount about that part of Wales or what went on, but everybody's sort of doing their job, living their life, but there's no spark in it, there's no excitement. And central character of Jan, played by the ridiculously talented Toni Collette, who is an actual Australian person with a very good Welsh accent, she is a bit fed up. She works in the co-op, she works in the local working men's club behind the bar, she's married, my husband's nice enough but he's a bit stuck, and everything's just rinse and repeat, SSDD. And then she gets this idea, because she's got a background in breeding racing pigeons and whippets and other things that run. Pigeons don't run. Pigeons fly, but you know what I mean, competitive racing animals, or birds. She gets this idea that she's going to buy a mare, get it knocked up and breed her own racehorse. And it sounds nuts, and it is nuts really, but to do this she needs some help and support. So she puts flyers out around the little village in the valleys, and ends up with the most ragtag bunch of reprobates owning the horse with her. So you've got like Kirby, who's the town drunk, and you've got the guy who owns the actual working men's club, who was Dave Coaches from Gavin and Stacey. I don't know the actor's name because I just saw him and went, oh, Dave Coaches. There's actually a scene when they're on a coach. There's a few scenes on a coach, and Dave wasn't driving. I was gutted. So he's in the syndicate, the local butcher's in, an old deer, you know, there's an old boy who chips in as well. So they all put in sort of, I think it's like £10 a week for 2 years to raise and breed this racehorse. And it races. And, you know, it's exactly what you expect it to be, by the way it looks and by the way it's scored and by the sort of, just everything about it is a little bit predictable. But you know what, sometimes that doesn't matter. This is exactly the sort of film that would have gone down an absolute storm on what was known as senior screen, and I don't think it even exists at the minute. And in this very cinema here where I used to work, we used to do senior screen on a Wednesday morning, and it was cheap tickets. I think it was like £2.50. They got a tea or a coffee, they got biscuits, and we used to show films like this, like Ladies in Lavender, like Calendar Girls. And that sort of cinema really has its place because it's real feel-good viewing. It was emotional in places. Like I said, I had a little bit of a cry, really uplifting. And I'm kind of watching the races thinking, well, I don't know the history of these people and this horse, so I don't know if he's going to win the races or not. And I'm not going to tell you if he's going to win the races or not, but it was beautifully made, obviously with real affection. The lovely Welsh camaraderie was really well portrayed, the sort of village pulling together. Like I say, some excellent Welsh accents. I don't know of the cast, I don't know who actually is Welsh and who isn't. I think Dave Coaches is probably Welsh. Joanna Page, Stacey of Gavin and Stacey fame, she pops up in it as well. Toni Collette's husband, Brian, also known as Daisy for reasons they never explain. He is played by Owen Teale, who you will recognise if you are a fan of Game of Thrones. I did spend a lot of the film thinking he was Gerard Harris, and he wasn't. Damian Lewis, his name went out of my head there. Damian Lewis plays Howard Davis, who's been in a syndicate before, so he brings that sort of knowledge and expertise. And so it's a good cast. It's beautifully scored. It's very Welsh. It's just exactly what you want. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get highs and lows. You're going to get edge of the seat drama as the horse races. And as I say, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it's lovely. If that's your sort of bag, like, you can't come out of it and go, oh, it was really predictable. It was, because you know what you're getting. And it was wonderful. It was exactly what I needed tonight. I was feeling a bit blue, and I came and watched this lovely, lovely film, and now I feel better, apart from the fact that I ate a bag of popcorn and a whole bag of rhubarb and custard squashies. Oops. But yeah, that's got nothing to do with the film, has it? Go and see it. It's lovely. It's a proper Sunday afternoon film, so if you don't see it in the cinema, catch it when it comes round on a streaming service. It is an absolute delight. That's it from me. Thanks for listening. Katie out.